Good morning, everyone. We are in the beginning of August 2022, and it is very humid out today. We had a pretty nice rainstorm yesterday, which was nice. Well, last night. And I had gone to the farmer's market yesterday and picked up some carrots. I had showed you the propane stove that I'm going to be using outside to do some pressure canning. And so I got the carrots. Here they are right here. I came out with a little over 12 pounds that I'm going to do in the pressure canner, and this will be my first time pressure canning. So I washed them and I've peeled them. I gave half of the peels to the chickens and the rest I'm going to put in the compost. And then the next step is chopping off the ends. I haven't chopped that one off yet. Let's see. And then I'm going to be slicing them. I got some different colors. I got the yellow, the orange, and then I have this white. Isn't that neat? So those are gonna look really neat in the jars. Anyway, I'm slicing them about this thick. I tried doing it on my mandolin and it didn't seem to be slicing them as thick as I wanted. They say if you don't slice them a little bit thicker that they get mushy in the cans. So we have that to do. So I'm gonna get these all cut up. And I also have this big bag of garlic that I bought at the farmer's market. And one of the ladies I follow on YouTube that's a master gardener says that she roasts her garlic and then freezes it. And then whenever she needs garlic, she just grabs it out of the freezer. And I am all about some convenience. So I'm going to be roasting some garlic. And then I also have several stalks of celery in the freezer that I need to chop up and get flash frozen also. So I'll take you along for that. For now, I'm gonna keep working on these carrots. All right, everybody, we are back. I decided I'm going to halt my carrots for a second and start my garlic because it takes 45 minutes. So while I'm slicing my carrots, something else can be working for me. So here we go with roasted garlic. I've got a sheet pan here and I have aluminum foil and I have my garlic clove. And what you want to do is cut the top of your garlic off, okay? So all of your tops are showing. And then there's a thin paper that you're going to have on the outside of it, and you're just going to peel that off like that. You can leave the thinner one on it, but take off that outer one. So then you just have that thin layer. So leave this layer right here on there, okay? Then you're going to set it in the middle of your aluminum foil. You're going to drizzle it with some olive oil. Make sure all of those cloves get some olive oil. Give it a little salt. Give it a little pepper. And then we're going to wrap it up. Into a nice little ball here. And I have my oven set at 375. They will bake for approximately 45 minutes, and I'll come back and show you what those look like once they are done cooking and they are cooled off. I've got 13 heads that I'm going to do. The last time I was preserving something, I used everything, and then I went to use, I think it was cucumbers. I went to use it and I had preserved all of them and I didn't have any fresh left. So I'm keeping 2 out for the pantry so I can make, I'm thinking about making some spaghetti sauce. So we'll come back. All right, everybody, we are back. First thing I wanted to show you was the garlic. It is done. It came out really well. I tried it on a piece of toast with just with the garlic on it, and it was really, really good. So let me show you what's really neat about this is you take the garlic clove off of the main, off the main clove, and you just squeeze it, and look at that, it just comes right out. And then you can spread it on whatever you want to, or you can use it on your fish, or in your dips, or you could probably use it in some kind of an aioli dressing. That would be really good. So we've got all of those. I'm going to be packaging those up into a storage container and putting those in the freezer. And then over here on the stove right now, I've got my lids just sitting here on keeping warm. You don't want them to come to a boil because you'll ruin the seal on those. That's really hot. But you know that rubber seal, that red rubber seal right there, that gets too hot and it can end up cracking your seal. You won't get a good seal. And here we have the pressure canner. Now you're supposed to put, I have a Presto. And like I said, a client of mine gave this to me, and it's an older one, and I'm okay with that. Here's the lid. And here's the weight that I'll be using. Here's the pressure canner, and I have 3 quarts of water in the base of this Presto canner. And I've got all of my carrots all chopped up. Look at how pretty that is. Okay, I'm going to be packing those into my jars, right, like this. Fill every one of these jars up. Oops. I'm going to do this, and then I've got right here boiling water. That's all you need. No salt, no nothing. I guess you can put salt in it, but it's optional. And when I was reading on YouTube, some people were saying iodized salt, and everything else I've ever done, they're like, don't use iodized salt because it changes the color of your stuff. So I'm just going to stick with no salt and go from there. So I'm going to fill these jars. We'll see how many I come out with, and we'll come back and start filling them with the liquid. Okay, I have got 7 jars, pint jars filled right now, and that's all that fits in that pressure canner. So I'm not going to fill any more pint jars right now because the cooking time is 25 minutes. So, and then it has to come up to pressure for 10 minutes. So I'm going to wait to pack in any more jars. But right now, you need to get the air, any air bubbles out. So that's what I'm doing here. Just making sure that there's no air bubbles. And when I filled it, you need to fill up to 1 inch headspace, or leave 1 inch headspace. I think that carrot needs to go. I can put a little bit more liquid into that one. Isn't that pretty? I think these are so beautiful with all these different colored carrots in there. like, man, I wish I would have picked up some purple carrots. Those would have really, that would have really gave it a cool color. And you can buy actual debubblers, but chopsticks work just fine. I'm of the mindset, why spend extra money that you don't need to spend? Okay, I think that one, there's one big carrot here. Look at that, that's huge. They say the bigger ones could get woody or more fibrous when you can them. I guess we'll find out. I can put a little bit more water in that one. Okay, now we're going to get the lids and the seals on. All right, we are outside. I've got my jars inside the pressure canner. Right now you can see that the gauge is registering that it's not pressurized. We have to wait for it to come up to 15 psi. Once it does that, we have to set a timer for 10 minutes. And after that 10 minutes, we will put the weight right here, and then it will have to go for 25 minutes. And then we will have to let it come down. But look at this, you guys. Isn't this awesome? It's nice and sturdy. Camp Chef. Let me see if I can get under here for you to see. So right now I have it on a high heat. And once we get it up to the 15 pounds of pressure and we get the weight on, we need to keep it with the carrots at 11, at least 11. So 11 is the best gauge. So back here is how we regulate the flame. So I will bring it down once we get up to the right PSI, the 15 pounds of pressure. Then I'll regulate it and try to get it down to 11. So we're right where they're supposed to be for cooking. Okay, my timer just went off. So I am going to take this, and I'm going to put it on there like that. And then we're gonna wait for that. See how fast that goes up. We're gonna wait for that to build. And once it builds up to 15 pounds, we are going to put the timer on for 25 minutes for carrots. And then we are going to slowly bring that flame down and bring that pressure down to 11 pounds. See, it's at 11 pounds right now. But we want to bring that heat up just a little bit more. One more thing, another way that you can tell when you need to set your timer is that little guy right there starts rocking. Once he starts rocking, you need to set your timer. Okay, you guys, we are back, and as you can see, that held at 16 pounds of pressure. I have it down on the lowest heat setting I could put it on this Camp Chef. So now it's been 25 minutes, and I'm going to shut it off. So now it's off, and that's it. We do not do anything else with this right now. We have to wait till this gauge here comes down to 0, and this steam vent here is flat. If this was down to 0 and this is not flat, you still would not want to open this lid because it is still carrying pressure. So we are going to let this come down to pressure, and then we'll go from there. All right, everybody, we are back. And as you can see, the PSI is down to 0. But as I was saying before, that is still up. So until that goes down, you do not want to lift off your lid, because that means that there is still pressure inside of this pressure canner. Oh, look at that. That was perfect timing. It just went down. Ha! perfect timing. Okay, you guys. So now it looks like we can take this off. And as you can see, there's no steam coming out of that. And then we will be able to turn the lid. Oops, that's still hot. We'll be able to turn this lid, and then we are going to want to open it away from us. So there still will be steam in there. So you'll want to open it away from you so the steam does not hit you in the face. And then once that happens, then you can take your jars out. Now, if you wanted to even let this sit overnight, you could do that. It's not going to hurt anything. Everything's just going to come down to an even level. You just never want to open it before you're supposed to open it. But you can always let it sit longer in the canner. That won't hurt anything. So I am going to open this up. I'm going to get these jars out because I have to get them out because I still have another batch of carrots that I need to get in here. And I'm going to do those in quarts. Now the pints were at the 11 psi for 25 minutes. Quarts are going to be for 30 minutes. So I'm going to get all of that going, and we'll catch back up when we are all finished with all of that. Good morning, everyone. Well, we are Monday morning, and I worked yesterday all day on doing some preserving. And I started some more of those pepper seeds. I showed you a few of those seeds that I had sitting here on the table. I got those started upstairs. We'll do a tour of everything that's been growing in our next video. But I did the pressure canner with you, and I wanted to show you guys, here's the pint jars that we did. 7 jars fit in that pressure canner. And aren't they beautiful? Look at that. They turned out really good. This is 12 pounds of carrots, and these are the quarts. I ended up getting 4 quarts and 7 pints. Not bad for 12 pounds of carrots. I sliced them probably about 1 inch thick. I might go a little bit larger next time. We'll have to open them up and see what they taste like first. And then you remember we did all that corn that I had Tom grill for me. I seasoned it with vegetable seasoning and butter, put it on the grill in aluminum foil, and then we used some for dinner. And then what else? I made goulash yesterday, and I put a couple ears in the goulash, and oh, it's so good. So now you just break this, you know, you just pull up on that parchment paper and it just totally breaks off. I did a flash freeze on it, and I'm going to separate these into 3 bags and use my vacuum sealer and to get those stored up. And then I had excess green peppers in my refrigerator that I needed to get used up. So I froze some of those, and I had some frozen that I used in the goulash and some onions. And it was so nice with everything I was doing yesterday. I was able to just grab what I needed and throw it in the pot instead of having to spend time chopping. So that's the main reason I do this, is for when I'm busy doing other things. I don't have a lot of prep work to do. I also had onions that I said that, and I put those in there. And then we did those garlic cloves yesterday, and I have those in the freezer. I forgot to pull those out to show you. I have 12 of those left because I used the rest of one of those bulbs after we tried it on toast, and put that in my goulash, and that flavored it really nice. I did add a little bit of extra minced garlic to that. And then I have a bunch of cantaloupes coming in. I have some fresh in the refrigerator, and I didn't want the other ones to get too ripe on me, so I chop these up and I give these to the girls when it's 100 and some degrees outside in the afternoons. Either myself or Candace or Tom will, you know, probably take about a half of this bag and throw it in their, you know, clean out their water, give them fresh water, and throw this in their water, and it cools off the water, and they peck at it, and it helps cool them down. Especially since our fan hasn't been working. So that's what we got accomplished yesterday. And I am going to get this, well, Candace is going to get this ready to get sent off to you. And I'm gonna head off to work. And I want to thank you again for spending time with us. It means so much to us and it helps us out so much. So if you like what you see on this channel and you feel like you could gain something from it, please hit subscribe. That helps us a lot on this channel. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you later.